you always have the option. If I wanted to, I could just marry a 50-year-old and chill.
If a woman wants a husband and children and she wants that family life, do you believe, is the sacrifice she has to make for that? Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. I've got another sick collab conversation lined up for you today. You know, I always like getting different perspectives, like getting different people on to talk about the dating industry, the dating market and the dating landscape. And I've got a very special guest, actually. You might have seen her in one of another video that I might have posted on my channel. Please welcome Pearl from Just Pearly Things. Welcome to the channel. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I feel like we've seen each other a lot in the past week.
Yeah.
I've been on her episodes a couple of times. She has insane conversations and talks about all things that other people are afraid to talk about. I'll put a link to her channel below, but we're going to have a fun time. How you doing this morning?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. How are you feeling about being in the UK right now?
I love the UK. I think I like it more than my mom is like happy with because she's afraid I'm gonna stay here.
Oh yeah, what do you think? Do you think you'd stay or do you think you'll go back?
I think I want to stay another year if I can afford it.
Yeah.
We'll see. You know, subscribe to my channel, please.
Give us a super chats. You know why here we're going to talk about some dating. It's our favorite topic to talk about. Mm-hmm. If you could describe the dating landscape in 3 words nowadays, how would you describe it?
Ooh. Superficial. Mm-hmm. A lot of simps. So simps.
Okay.
What would be the third? I don't know, like fun, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So let's go through each one. Why would you say superficial?
I think social media has made it very superficial.
Yeah.
I'd say simps kind of like gas women up.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of simps gassing you up?
No.
I don't believe it. You should have seen that chat yesterday. I don't believe it.
What?
I said you had a lot of supporters on your channel. They
yeah,
love
no,
you.
I do.
They love you.
And then I forgot what I said. The third one.
You said fun.
Oh, fun. I don't know. I think like there's a lot of people that like want to go on dates and like do fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it? Have you dated a British guy yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very briefly.
Very briefly.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Have I told you this story?
I think you have.
Oh,
okay,
no.
first, before you give us some any dirt, is there any difference between dating an American guy and a British guy culturally? Or there's some cultural things you're like,
British men dress better
than
American men. And they're a little bit like classier, I would say.
Yeah.
Like they talk a little bit better and they're like a little more like classy.
Did you like that?
I don't really care. I kind of like a cheap guy. I have like a weird thing for men that are cheap.
Oh, really?
I'm cheap.
Okay. Fellas, hit her up, boy.
Like I have like a weird, and I think it's because my dad is he's like the richest cheap guy I know.
That's how the rich stay rich, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I like a guy that's well dressed, but like it kind of makes me look at a guy a certain way if I think he's spending like crazy amounts of money on a wardrobe.
How does it make you look at him?
Like, are you dumb? Like, like, why would you spend that much money on like clothes?
Well, when you think because a lot of women like a guy with style, so they want to invest in having style.
Oh, sure. I'm sure they have their good reasons, just like women have good reasons, you know. But I don't know. There's something about a guy that's like smart with his money, you know. So like when I see guys that spend like hundreds of dollars on shoe collections, I'm like,
yeah, why?
I don't. It's just not my thing. Not my thing. No hate if you do that.
I hear you. So culturally, just British guys generally, you just felt he was a bit more classy and dressed better.
Yeah. That's what I would say.
Okay. Guys, if you want to get part, you just have to be cheap, boy. You better say, don't buy no suit. Just rock out with some trackies.
No, that is not.
Listen, if she says she wants to get taken out to dinner, just take her to McDonald's, okay? Order her an apple pie.
I'm more of a Chipotle fan.
Oh, I don't think, do we have that here?
Yeah, but it's ass. It's it doesn't taste the same.
Really? I asked you this yesterday, but I want to delve more into it today. So it's very common that a lot of women will go through all men are trash phase.
Yeah.
And you told me you went through this
Yeah.
phase. Why did you get to a point where you're like, all guys are trash at one point?
It was brief. It was not that long, but it was because I had a guy that I looked up to just like as a coach.
Yeah.
And like he was kind of like, because my dad was gone a lot growing up.
Yeah.
And so this guy was like kind of like a father figure sort of to me.
Yeah.
And then like I found out, so the second I turned 18, he like tried to sleep with me.
Oh,
and
wow.
I found out he was like doing that to like all of these different girls. It was kind of, it was kind of weird. But, and then I don't know, I just saw a lot of like when you hit like 21 or 22, all these married guys try to like sleep with you. And it's just like, I don't know, it just makes you like feel a certain way.
Makes you feel a bit icky.
Yeah, like all guys, when they get the opportunity, you're just gonna like cheat on their wives.
So do you still think that about men now?
Oh no.
You don't think like that?
No.
Okay, so you don't think all guys would, but you agree that there's still some men who are like that out there.
Yeah, for sure.
So what do you think about men now?
What do I think about men? I think like we need men.
Yeah.
I think it's like kind of silly to hate men because like I literally could not survive without men.
Obviously, I'm not going to disagree with you, but for our audience, what do women need men for?
Well, you guys run the infrastructure of society. So if I call a plumber and electrician,
yeah.
I miss my brothers so much in the UK.
Okay.
They would always help me with like any tech stuff I needed help with.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think men are just naturally very helpful.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what it is. They just kind of have this ingrained like inner thing where like they just want to like help you.
Yeah. I was saying this in an episode before that men, especially if it's a woman that a man is into, he wants to serve her.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of women are. Do you think women are afraid to let men serve them, or what do you think?
No, I think they take the benefits.
Yeah, yeah. Some do. Some definitely do.
No, I think girls are definitely not afraid to let guys serve them at all.
Do you think the strong, independent woman would let a guy serve her?
Yes. I think they just pretend they don't.
I'm strong, independent until.
Okay, have you had a girl fight you for the bill on a date?
Never.
Never.
I've had to fight her. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, I was like, you pay. She's like, you pay. And I was like, I thought you were a strong, independent woman. No, I've never done that. I think even if I did that, I feel like no matter how strong and independent she is, she would be like, oh, he didn't pay. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What do you think is helping women in dating today? What do you think isn't helping them?
I think helping is hypergamy.
Explain that to us.
Okay, like, I think that it's harder to date today more than ever for guys.
Yeah.
Because of social media, right? But on the flip end, I think it's, like, easier for women to, like, date a guy that's out of their league, so to speak. Because, like, men have less access to women in general.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you think it's easier for women to date guys who are perceivably out of their league today?
Yeah.
Like, you don't think it happened before, or?
It did, but I think social media kind of changed the game.
Yeah, it gave us access.
So did dating apps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the good or for the worse?
For the different. Society is just, like, different.
Yeah.
I don't think it's, like, worse or better, or better or worse, you know?
Yeah.
But the development of birth control and social media changed dating forever, and there's no going back now. It just is.
It's so true.
Yeah.
How do you think, so let's say birth control.
Yeah.
How do you think that impacted dating for women and the choices that they make?
Well, it takes away consequence. So, in like, before birth control was developed, women had to think long and hard before sleeping with a guy.
Very true. Because
they had to make sure he would like stick around for the kid. If she was like to get knocked up, because the chances for that were a lot higher.
Yes.
But now you can get an IUD and your odds of getting pregnant are slim.
Yeah.
So it takes away the consequence for women of like sleeping with a guy, basically. Yeah. So, you know, what happens when you take away consequences in a society? People do it more. Very
true. Well, I think we said this before, that consequence is taken away, but I think the consequence has just been transferred. As in, so the consequence of back in the day of a woman being promiscuous would be she could get knocked up prematurely. Mm-hmm. Now that's not a consequence. However, I think because we indulge in that more. The actual consequence now is that it is much harder to get commitment from the guy that you desire.
Sort of.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think it's... I think still a woman, like, I think it makes it harder maybe for the 8s, 9s, and 10s girls, because they want commitment from, like, the small percentage of men.
Do you think it's only those women who want the top guys?
Oh, no, I think all girls want them.
Yeah.
But I still think a girl kind of bats out of her league a lot. So, like, a girl that's a 5 or a 6 can still get a guy that's a 7 or 8. Does that make sense?
Can she get him, or is it just a sexual thing?
Yeah, I think she could get him.
Yeah.
I see it all the time.
Yeah.
I see that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say get, do you mean as in
a relationship?
Oh, for a relationship. Mm-hmm. Interesting. How do they?
But I'm kind of harsh. When I scale people, I'm kind of harsh.
Are you harsh on women? I feel like you are.
No, I'm harsh on men too.
You're harsh on men?
Yeah. No, I'm harsh on both. Like, because I look at someone's facial symmetry.
Yeah.
That's like what I look at, and that's where I start with.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I kind of scale it how Kevin Samuels does. And when you first hear Kevin Samuels scale, it sounds harsh.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you're average at best.
Savagery, pure savagery.
Yeah, but when you hear him talk, you understand what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Like 5, 6, pretty cute. 8 to 10 is model. 7s don't exist.
Yeah, I feel like guys seem to be, if we talk about Kevin Samuels, guys seem to more accept his determination of them.
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of women, they find it more difficult. Why do you think that is? And that's not saying that he's right.
Oh, because of you guys.
Because of us guys? Like, what did we do?
Men, you guys gas up these women for no reason. like you guys, as much as men want to complain about women today, who did it? Someone's sleeping with them.
That's a very good point.
You ever hook up with a girl that you would never be seen with in public? If you have to think about it, the answer is yes. Your friend's nodding.
You be quiet. You say nothing. I don't. I'm gonna answer that question.
He's gonna think about it. The answer is yes.
but it's different because it's like, it could be that. Maybe now I'd be like, okay, she's not my cup of tea because I've grown as a person now, and if I can try and be as objective as possible, I think the 27-year-old me today, or rather the 20-year-old me, could not compete with the 27-year-old me now. Does that make sense? So like the kind of maybe attention I got then. Is different to maybe what I'd get now.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like at the time that doesn't mean that I wouldn't have been quote unquote shown in public with her. But maybe now I look back, I'm like, oh, she really wasn't my kind of girl.
Yeah, like you could do better.
For what I like.
Yeah.
Maybe for what I like.
Yeah.
Have you ever been with a guy that you were like, nah, I wouldn't be seen in public with him?
No.
Never. What about have you never been with a guy that you're like, oh, I wouldn't introduce my friends to? Or has every guy you've ever been involved with, you were like, he's the kind of guy that I would happily introduce people to?
A lot of guys I've been involved with I was friends with first.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So like by default, they met.
Is that by choice or by accident?
I just like feeling like comfortable with a guy. So like, I don't know, both I guess.
Yeah. So you take your time.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know. I like to like know people first in general. So
have you? I'm gonna ask you a personal question. So, have you ever had a one-night stand?
No.
Never. And you never thought about trying it, or it's just not you?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought, like, I'm human.
Yeah, of course. Like, you've never met a guy been like, you're so attracted to him that you could have him right there and there.
Oh, yeah, those guys scare me, because I'm telling you, I reject guys because I think I like a guy that's a little ugly.
What do you mean?
No, I do.
Why?
Why? Because this is bad, but the guys that are like that I have that like, oh my god, he's so fine. They scare me because I'm like, I think they're out of my league a little bit.
Okay.
And I feel like I can't get a relationship out of them. And so I'm like, and I'll see other girls he's hooked up with, and I'm like, oh my god, they're way hotter than me. I can't compete with that.
Yeah.
So I kind of like guys like a little ugly. Yeah, like a little.
Any guy that you've ever been with watching this now is gonna be like, what the fuck? Or do you say it to their face?
This is the problem with having well, people know.
It's interesting because I've had a girl who's come to me being like, oh, there's this guy I'm dating, and girls he's been with before, she feels like so much more attractive than she was, and she, and that's understandable because we naturally compare, right?
Yeah.
So she was like, oh, I do feel a kind of deep insecurity that he's either just using me or he could leave me for any one of these other girls that he could get like that. And one thing that I think is true for the majority of men, especially when looking for something substantial, if it's not just hooking up, is that they will go down in looks in a woman to go up in like being like a team member, like warm, kind, caring. That's
actually what I've learned recently. And I was like, oh, for real? But as girls, like, we think it's all about looks.
Yeah.
And especially like, because I just got out of a relationship, so I haven't dated too much. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I do. How I play it this time around. I don't know.
We'll see what happens. What do you think? Circling back, what do you think isn't helping women in dating nowadays?
Ego, I guess.
Okay.
And that's why I say sometimes I think it's easier for women than men, because like I didn't realize how many girls just like do nothing. like I because I asked my last boyfriend like why he dated me. He's like, oh, you were just like so nice.
Yeah.
Like he's like you like did this and this, and I was like, do girls not do that? No. And he's like, no.
So what were those things? Oh
my god, I used to clean his apartment like all the time. I used to like, it was kind of a long story because he was. I hate saying this, but he was kind of like homeless when I first met him.
Oh, okay.
But like he was really successful. Like he was on social media. He had like millions of followers, but he didn't have an ID or anything. Like he didn't have any form of like paperwork that like showed he existed other than a birth certificate, so he couldn't get an apartment. So he was staying in like 5-star hotels, but like, which I thought was ridiculous. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, yeah. I'm not.
It's not good, smart financial
yeah,
planning.
And so I like helped him they put him on my parents' lease.
Yeah.
To get an ID. And I would have did that if we were dating or not. But because I just remember thinking like, I can't imagine having no like help or like proof you existed from your family. Like I felt kind of bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like put him on my parents' lease, and he like stayed with my family for like 2 weeks. Oh, wow. And then then they finally mailed him the ID, because to get an ID you need a proof of residence, but if you don't have a residence, how do you get the ID in the US? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so course. So I like helped him get that. I helped him get a passport and like all this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you kind of helped him get on his feet a bit in terms of that, having that foundation.
Yeah.
How did he use that to his benefit, or how'd that go?
He I would say he used it. Yeah. Next question. Next question.
Okay, so let's go back. So you said you asked him why did he date you. You said, oh, you did this and this. So one of the things you mentioned was you cleaned his apartment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I used to like cook all the time. Although I'm not the best cook, so I think sometimes he wished I didn't.
Hey, listen, trying matters. Making the effort matters.
I don't know. I used to do a lot. Like I used to like handle his shit with like brands and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know. I probably did like a little bit too much. Like I wouldn't recommend doing as much as I did to grow. I'd say like dial it back a little bit.
Yeah,
but it's just I'm really helpful, so I don't know. I just
yeah, it's interesting because I did release a video recently about, you know, how a guy, especially a guy who's maybe worth his salt, that a lot of the time they will choose a woman not based on how attractive she is or how the sex is, but how she can be an asset to his life. Do you know what I mean? Because guys look at things in terms of, oh, this is a worthy investment now because long term this is what I'm going to get. Do you know what I mean? So it just sounds like you're an asset to his life. So no wonder he was going to...
Yeah. No, I was.
Yeah.
Like...
Would you do that for the next guy or no?
Oh, yeah. I mean, not... How do I put it? I would. I probably wouldn't move the next... I would hope the next guy, like, isn't homeless. Like, I think, you know, that was a little bit more, like, trying to, like, build up a guy. And I think in the future, I'd just rather date a guy that, like, has an apartment, maybe a car.
Well, so you can use him for his car and for travel, yeah?
No, not use him.
Yeah, that's what she did today. She was like, hey, I was going to get an Uber, but can you come pick me up? I was like, how dare you? I knew
you'd say yes, too.
It's because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, like, that's why I said men are helpful.
Damn, I shouldn't have done it. She simped on me, boy. She made me simp for her.
You're simping?
Oh, I don't simp.
He's actually my pimp. You guys know that?
I don't know what she's talking about. How you start dating a guy. You meet a guy tomorrow. You start dating. When do you sleep with him for the first time?
Oh my God, I don't know. I was thinking about it like this time around. I was like, I don't know. It's like, because I didn't date really for like 2 years before I met my last boyfriend. So I was like, it's been a while since I like.
Was that a choice?
Yeah. Like,
why?
I don't, yeah.
Why is that?
Why? I was like very sad and heartbroken.
Oh, fair enough.
So I just decided instead of, I don't know, trying, I'll just tap out. It wasn't a wise decision.
That's all right. Sometimes you need time for yourself, especially after a hard breakup.
Yeah. 2 years though? I don't know.
How long were you together with the one before that, the breakup?
Oh God. On and off for like years. So,
well, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
I think they usually say what, like half the length of the relationship is the amount of time you should give before you try.
Yeah.
So if you're together for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say when I sleep with a guy also depends like where I met him.
What do you mean?
Like, that's why I said I went for, like, friends a lot of the time because I was more comfortable with them. Like, I knew them.
Yeah.
But, like, if I meet a guy, say, off a dating app, like, that takes longer because I'm like, I don't know who the F you are.
Yeah.
Like, you could be anyone.
Yeah.
So
true.
Yeah, but if you, like, have mutual friends, it's like, I know you're not, like, nuts.
They've been pre-approved.
Yeah.
They've been pre-approved.
That's true. Pre-selection is a real thing.
Yeah. Do you think, if there was a guy that, you know, let's say he's a friend of yours.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, he's attractive. You know, you've spent a lot of one-on-one time. But then you find out that a lot of girls are really not fond with him. Would that affect his likability to you or not?
Well, why are they not fond of him?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
I was going to say something terrible then. Okay, let's say they're not fond of him because he's really bad in bed.
They all know. Like,
yeah, you know, girls tell each other shit, don't they?
Oh yeah, we do.
What are some things? No, answer this. I'll answer that.
No, I don't care that much about that stuff. Like, I think values are more important. Yeah.
What are things that girls tell each other that guys would never know?
Everything.
Like what?
Like, I know my closest friends what positions they do with their husbands. Like, I don't like...
With their husbands? Yeah. Wow, like, with their husbands?
Yeah, like, Yeah, we know everything.
Is that stuff like never off limits for girls?
They'll lie and say it is, but I'll tell you behind the scenes it's not. Sorry.
That's so funny. I feel like guys will spill the beans on a girl that he's casual about, but if he's serious about her, then that stuff becomes completely off limits to his friends or anyone in general.
Yeah, but like that's because women like people. Like relationships are more important to us.
Yeah.
And one of the best way we bond with other bitches is talking about y'all. Like,
That makes so much sense. Let's. I always like asking women this question. Let's talk about double standards.
Yeah.
Guy sleeps around, seen as a don.
Yeah.
Girl sleeps around, she's seen as the opposite of a don. Insert word here. Is that fair?
No, it's a double standard.
Okay, true, it's double standard. Is that something we should try and change?
You can't. You
Can't
can't change
change.
it. No.
I think it's a lot better today. Like,
oh, for sure.
Compared to 50 years ago.
Yeah, but it's still gonna always be a double standard.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Because you can't undo biology.
Say more.
Saying like I can't undo the fact that I like successful men and men that are driven and like work hard.
True.
Like I can't help that. That's like in the old days they had to find a competent guy to like make sure he'd protect me. Even though that might not be useful today because like a lot of women out earn men. It's not useful, but I can't help that.
Very true.
And it's the same thing. Like men can't help that they're disgusted by promiscuity. Like it's a natural like. You find out a girl slept with 5 of your friends, you wifing her?
Well, I think
see that reaction?
Yeah, but what I would say that's because it's who she slept with as opposed to the number. So like I would rather she slept with 10 guys who I didn't know than even just one of my friends.
Oh, I agree.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I 100%. But like the reason you have that like gut, like that feeling, right, of like, no, it's biology. Men had to ensure paternity.
Very
true. So, as society progresses, like, it's less and less like useful, right? I mean, the average age of first marriage is 27.
Yeah.
Do you think like girls like they're not virgins anymore?
No.
So it's not a useful like feeling that you have, but you can't get rid of it. Just the same way like if I make a lot of money someday, it's not useful that I would rather have a guy that has more money than me and is more competent than me. But true. It's just there.
Yeah.
And I think at a certain point, men are just like, whatever, I'm just going to not ask. Just like at a certain point, women are like that make a lot of money are like, fine, I'll just date the hot guy that doesn't.
That doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, while I do agree with that, and I do agree with the sentiment of what you've said, however, I would argue that the direction it's going in, compared to like 50, 100 years ago, even compared to 20 years ago, the direction it's going is men being more accepting of a woman's sexual past than not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because they have to be. Wait, go find you a virgin. Let me know how that goes.
That is true, but then
okay, find a girl with less than 5 body count. Let me know how that goes.
Very true. I'd say yes, there is an element of necessity, as in they have to.
Yeah.
But then we've talked about this before,
Yeah.
where back in the day, men wanted virgins to marry.
Yeah.
Now, I would argue most guys don't want a virgin.
I would agree, yeah.
So that's already shifted in itself.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure.
So, do you think that will ever happen for women, as in they'll ever stop asking or requiring a man to be being able to provide?
No.
No matter how much she makes?
Yeah, like, no, I don't think they'll stop asking. I think you're just going to see girls ending up alone.
Which is starting to happen.
Yeah.
Already. Do you think...
Because men will settle.
Huh?
Men will settle. Women won't.
Say more. What do you mean?
Like, if a guy has... Like, if they surveyed women and they said, would you go on a second date with a guy that has 80% of what you look for? Most said no. They asked the guys, would you go on a second date with a girl that has 80% of what you look for? And they're like, hell yeah! Like 80%, that's great. Really good. Yeah. So it's
that's
like
an A minus.
Yeah.
Or a B plus.
And that's what I'm saying. Like men settle, or I don't even like the word settle, or they're just more realistic.
They're more accepting.
Right. But that's because I think men are told from a young age, like, that you ain't shit. Like, where women are told how great we are from a young age. So, like, they see it as settling.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Even though it's really not a lot of the time, because that's the best you can get. Like, you wouldn't be with them.
So, yeah. So, do you think women in the past settled, or do you think women today have unrealistic standards?
Well, I think this shit's always like, you think in the 70s this shit like wasn't happening?
Yeah.
I would just say with social media, you have access to more.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's kind of like the paradox of choice. Like, the more choices you have, the less satisfied you are with your choice. Yeah,
no, it's very true. Yeah. I literally cited a study that I think it was flavors of ice cream. They took two separate group of people. One group had a choice of 4 different ice cream flavors. The other group had something like 18 different choices. Mm-hmm. And the people who had less options were more satisfied with their choice. Mm-hmm. Because the other group, they would choose one, but then they'd always feel, I missed out on a flavor that could have been better for me.
Yeah.
So then in that sense, do you think women having more options today is actually hurting them?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think happens when a man has too many options?
He sleeps with all of them.
Very true. I think to a certain extent, maybe he'll be a bit discerning with a few.
I think that... no. I mean, I think, at least at first, he'll just go nuts.
Yeah.
Like Kanye, look at all the...
Yeah.
I've heard horror stories about, like, rappers and stuff. Because I have friends that have actually, like... Oh my gosh, I have friends that have actually, like, slept with some really famous people.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What they said to you?
That... they signed NDAs.
Oh, really?
But, like, some of them were underage when they slept with those guys.
Really?
Like, you would know the names if I told
would
you.
They?
Yeah.
Did the girls, were they portraying themselves to be older, or did the guys know?
They just didn't care.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You would, if I told you some of the names, you would like.
I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
That is mad. Like, men always seem to... It's weird, because when men get into positions of status, power, and influence...
Yeah.
Well, you know, they say if you want to test a man's character, give him power.
Oh, yeah.
So, do you think, for example, let's say these superstars who are sleeping with younger women or whatever, do you think that is who they are as an individual, or do you think that's part of male nature?
I mean, I think both.
It's a bit of both, yeah.
Yeah, like, everyone has some stuff they would do if they got money, right?
Yeah.
And it's partially nature, but it's also partially, like, who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, my dad is pretty wealthy, but he doesn't have hoes.
Not that you know of. No, I'm joking.
That's what everyone tells me. They're like, your dad cheats, you just don't know it.
No, how old's your dad, if you don't mind me asking?
He's, God, I was trying to remember this. He was born in 1965, so how old would that make him?
56, 57?
Yeah. He's born in October.
He ain't got no energy for cheating. He ain't got no energy at that point.
Yeah.
How do you think feminism has helped women in dating?
Well, I mean, you get the option to, like, get a guy out of your league through sex. Like, they want to say, you guys will say that. No, I'm going to tell you something I disagree with you on as a dating coach.
Tell me.
You know, you'll be like, oh, man, if you sleep with a guy right away, like, it changes how he sees you, right? I agree with you to some effect, right?
Yeah.
But I've seen girls get really good at certain skills and just make these men, like, fall in love with them.
Like, when you say certain skills, like what? Oh, you mean sexual skills?
Yeah.
Oh. Imogen's looking at me like, Do you not get it?
And so that wasn't really an option before because they'd be afraid of getting pregnant.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Like, sometimes I think hoes get wifed up faster than prudes.
Do you think?
Sometimes, not always.
I think maybe more so than prudes, but I think there's a balance in the middle.
Yeah.
Those girls seem to always get commitment. As in, so they're not necessarily prudes, but they're not sexually out there all the time.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I think... So what you disagree with is you think that if a girl sleeps with a guy straight away... I'm not saying it's impossible for her to get a relationship, but it is a massive detriment. It's not in her best interest to.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, in general, I agree with you.
Yeah.
You just asked for one of the things that feminism...
No, of course.
that gave us. It also gave, like, the ability, if they want to sleep around. It gave us the ability... if we want to work.
Yeah.
I don't understand like why we wanted these things. like I would have been cool chilling at the house.
So what? So what? You would take away feminism? Like everything that feminism has done.
I always do joke that I want to return our rights. Like I say this more than I should.
You are looking for hate right now.
Okay, because I'm not. I think everyone should have the choice to do whatever you want.
Yes.
I think like if you want to sleep around, go do it.
Yeah.
If you want to work really hard, I've always been a really hard worker.
Yes.
So I enjoy working. I just think it'd be nice to do what I want and not have to pay the bills. I don't understand. Like in the old days, like girls would just like paint or like have different hobbies, and that's more fun.
There's no pressure. What do you think most women would like that to some extent, as in can have a situation where they don't have to worry about the financial?
Yes.
So you think most women would?
Yeah.
Even if they're strong and independent? Yeah.
Yeah.
So why do you think that a lot of women proclaim to be strong and independent, yet this is what they would like? Which almost kind of goes against the kind of independent woman narrative.
Because they can't change their biology as much as they'd like it to.
Do you think they know that they would like to be maybe taken care of in that sense?
Yeah.
Or do you think they're in a way?
I think they want equality when it benefits them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they actually want equality. We're the men's right. Like, let's get men into bars for free. Like
and that happening
free drinks for men.
Free drinks for men. I would love that. Oh my gosh, I'd love free drinks for guys.
I've bought a guy a drink before, actually.
Have you?
Yeah.
I've had a couple of girls buy me a drink before.
Yeah.
But I won't say that. They were not my type. I'll say that. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I had a really good one. It might have been on my... Hold on. Might have been on my notes. Okay, I got it. Oh, yeah. What is... If you had a single girlfriend who was a serial dater, so...
I got a couple.
And she, let's say, she's always dating. She might be dating multiple guys.
Yeah.
But she never seems to get a relationship. What advice would you give to her?
Shoot a little lower.
So she said lower her standards?
Yeah.
Yeah?
If the guys you want don't want you, then maybe shoot a little lower.
So what would you say if she was like, no, but she doesn't want to settle?
Dialogue.
You sound like Kevin Samuels right now. Buy a dog, die alone.
No, I mean, if you don't want to settle, don't complain about the results or lose weight.
Well,
go to the gym. That's actually probably what I would say first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if they're just, they're nice and slim already, like
they're nice and slim.
They're normal weight. They're not like.
Well, then there's probably something wrong with her. No, I'm serious because most girls are overweight.
Like, in the West, that's true. Yeah, most people are overweight.
Here too, in the UK, most girls are overweight too.
Yeah.
And less so than the US, but I don't know what the numbers are, but the stats in the US, it's like 50% are overweight, and that's not even taking normal weight into account. So I would guess if you're like you have a good body, What would you see? You're a guy. I would say top 25% ish of girls. If you have like a good, like, you go to the gym and it's a parent body.
Yeah, I guess so. I'd say that for guys as well in general. Like, if you're in good shape for a man or woman, you're probably in like the top 20% of bodies in the UK. That's true.
So, but I'm even friends with athletes, but most of them are still, you can't work a bad diet.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
What's one question you would have for guys? Then maybe I can try and answer. That one, whatever that question was.
Any of y'all looking for a stay-at-home wife?
Maybe I'm looking for a stay-at-home wife.
I'm ready to chill.
Yo, just slide in them DMs, boy. No, go on. Seriously, go on.
A serious question?
Okay, apart from that, I'll put that.
Apart from that, ooh, do men have a female, like, 'cause we get the ick. Have you heard of the ick?
What, are we just like, a guy's too much?
No, it's like, I'll be like attracted to a guy and then he does something, I'm like, ick.
Oh, okay.
Is there a male version of that? Because it's kind of weird. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, we go back and forth so much.
Yeah. I feel like, I think guys can get the it, but I don't think it happens as flippant as that.
Yeah.
I don't think it happens as quick. I think it can. I think it's a gradual process.
Ooh, actually, I have another question.
Go on.
So you always tell girls not to sleep with guys. So when
On the first date, yeah.
On the first date, when should a girl sleep with a guy?
So I always say that. So if one of your girlfriends are having a party, where if she says you can bring a +1, right? When we bring someone as our guest somewhere, they are an ambassador for us, right? Because if you bring a friend to a party and that friend is trashing the place, is really obnoxious, everyone will be like, yo, who's that girl being terrible? Oh, that's Pearl's friend. Yeah. Right. That's a judgment on you.
Yeah.
So you would only ever bring someone who you trust, you know their character enough that they'd be a good representation for you. So I would say, if you're seeing a guy and you don't know, like, you wouldn't bring him as a +1 yet because you don't know him well enough to know if he could represent you well, then it's too soon.
That's like very ambiguous.
I don't think it's ambiguous. Because I think...
how long do you think that usually takes?
Well, that depends how much time you spend. I think if
the dating coaches never give a solid answer for this one.
Well,
never.
Well, I would
except
say...
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey, what does he say? 3 days?
No, 3 months.
3 months? Nah, that's 3 months. Well, because it's like... because... Okay, a lot of people say 3 dates. Yeah. Right? If you spend 2 hours each date...
Yeah.
Right? You could spend a whole day with someone, and that's the equivalent of time to 3 dates.
No, that's what I say too. That's why I say it's not like, for me, how long I've known them. It's like how much time I've spent with them.
Well, but part of knowing them well enough is going to be predicated on how much time you have spent with them. Yeah. So all I would say is, like, if you don't know if it's too soon or if you think it's too soon, just ask. If one of your best friends was having a party, she said bring a guy, or she said you could bring a +1. Yeah. Do you know him well enough to bring him?
Here's my problem. I bring everyone to parties. I used to be a promoter.
Well, every guy that you would sleep with.
No, I wouldn't sleep with. No, but that's what I do. Is I'm the girl that I always know people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I would say, like, you said that every guy you've been involved with, you were friends first, so you already knew him.
Yeah, I did.
So like it's. So when I say like don't have sex with him on the first date, I would say like if that's the first time you guys are hanging out. Yeah. As opposed to you've been friends for 3-4 years and then you're gonna date, that's different.
Yeah. That's what I think too.
I would still say don't sleep with him on the first date though.
Yeah.
Even if you've known him for 4 years.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you disagree?
Do I disagree? If you've known him for 4 years, what are you waiting for? Like.
But then you start to get the romantic side of him, don't you?
Yeah, that's true. But the cases I'm thinking of, it's like usually there's like a build up to it. Like I don't know.
I think sexual pacing is very good.
Yeah.
Or sexual progression. I think I mentioned this yesterday. Mm-hmm. Like it's not that you don't do anything for 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
but you know, you have a kiss and then kiss and grope, and then it just progressed because that's, you know.
Yeah. Well, it also depends who friend zoned who.
Oh, the girl always friend zoned him.
I've been friend zoned.
That's true. It can happen.
I've been like, yeah, I've been friend zoned before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Are you still friends with him now?
No.
Why not?
No. Well, I didn't sleep with the guy, but like I've had guys like that. It was very clear I was interested. I could just tell he wasn't, you know?
Right. Yeah. I feel like the equivalent for friend zone, not that girls can't get friend zone, but I feel like the equivalent for friend zone is the friends with benefit zone.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Where like a girl, the guy's getting the sexual benefits without having to give the emotional.
Yeah.
Whereas friend zone for girls for a guy to girls, where she's getting the emotional benefits without having to give any of the physical.
Yeah. No, this situation I'm thinking of was weird because we hung out like all the time. Like, so you would think I friend zoned him because we weren't hooking up.
Yeah.
But no, I'm telling you, I was down.
How young were you? How old were you guys?
22.
So I think there is a thing where we know girls have backup guys.
Yeah.
Do you have a backup guy?
No, I don't have many friends.
Oh, we got two in this room. Right? Like we know girls will have backup guys. Sometimes a guy will keep a girl around as.
Oh yeah.
I want to say backup, or like more like if a guy's not looking to have anything serious, but he really sees you as girlfriend wife material, then he won't entertain it until he's ready.
Yeah.
For that.
No, I don't think that's what. I think I just wasn't really his type.
No, I tried.
No, I don't. Yeah, he was so fine. Oh my god.
Oh really? Was he an athlete?
No, well, maybe at one point, not because we worked together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You said it was very clear that you were into him. How did you make that clear to him? What did you do?
I was like
stuck a finger in his bum.
Ew, no, I like never even kissed this guy. I would have. How did I make it clear? I was hanging out with him all the time, and like I don't know.
Yeah, but girls do that with guys that they friend zoned.
Maybe I didn't. I don't know.
How do you show a guy that you like him?
I don't know. It was clear. This was a while ago. So
because I think sometimes girls think they're being clear because they communicate very indirectly, but guys a lot of the time won't pick up on that. So how would you say you did that? Because maybe he didn't know. He
might not have. I don't know. I just feel like we were going out to lunch like every day. I'd said to him like that he was so attractive. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
So you're like, oh, I think you're really hot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, stuff like that. And I'm like, if you don't get that. Like,
did you ever ask him out on a date? Did you say, hey, I'd love to hang out after work?
We would hang out after work the time. That's what I'm saying.
No, wait, but would you, okay, when I say hang out, would you hang out after work, or would you, I mean like, not that you finish a shift and then you go get some food. Yeah. I mean like, you finish a shift, you go home, you get ready, and you come back out. Did you ever ask him out like that?
I did once. It went really well. He helped me move once, and then he helped me because he used to like come over to my apartment and help me with all this shit. So I thought, anyways, I really hope he does not see this.
I really hope he does. If you're watching, comment below. I'll find you and bring you on.
Yeah, I invited him to come with me to a private banking event, actually.
Okay.
And be my +1 for that, and he canceled on me the day of.
Oh.
So that was when I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm trying to make this something it's not, so that I stopped pursuing it, you know.
Oh.
It's okay.
Yeah.
No, stop giving me the awe. Like I don't.
No, I hear it. Shanta, yeah. I mean, it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, go on. You go.
And that's like the most rich people. Regardless, he should have went. Like.
He should have gone.
Well, like you know what private banking is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a very like you want to be in that room.
Yeah.
But.
How did you get in that room?
My parents are in it. So they like they have. I'm the kid.
That's who you know.
Yeah.
What do you think is the hardest? What's the most difficult obstacle women face in getting a relationship today?
Differentiating sexual attention from relationship attention.
I know what that means, but say it for our audience. What does that mean?
Oh, it's like, because a guy will give you attention, but he has no intention of, like, being with you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I would say that's the hardest thing.
If a guy is giving a girl sexual attention, but he initially was just like, nah, I'm not looking for anything serious with her.
Oh, yeah,
Can she change his mind?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah?
Not often. I would say it's the exception more than the rule. But
okay.
Again, certain girls get certain skills.
I feel like if she's like...
You guys will say that. And
As in, a guy never saw her as relationship material, and then she just whacks out some skills, and then he's like, wow, she's the one.
I don't think it, like, goes like that overnight. It's just, like, a gradual thing is what I've seen.
Yeah.
So, like, slowly he'll be like, oh, okay, maybe I'll date her. Oh, okay. And it kind of just, like, keeps...
staying for the sex.
Yeah, and then, like, it starts with sex, and then... girl learns a certain skill, they can make men fall in love.
I think that's true to some extent. It's funny because Chris Rock has made a joke where he says men can't go backwards sexually and women can't go backwards in lifestyle. So, you know, if a guy, you know, the first time a girl goes down on a guy, he's like, he won't fuck with any girls who don't go down on him now. Do you know what I mean? Because he likes that. Whereas, I don't know, like, for a girl, the first time she dates a guy who has a car, she's like, right, I don't fuck with guys who don't have a car anymore. Do you know what I mean? Do you think that's true? Or...
I was just thinking the guy from college had a car. And my last boyfriend did not.
Yeah, he had stuff to make up for that, didn't he?
I mean, yeah, he definitely was, like my last boyfriend was, like, really wealthy. Like, he had a lot of money, but it was just, like, life skills, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's not that he couldn't have a car.
Yeah. But
it's not like he couldn't have one.
He was a millionaire. Like, it was just like he didn't know what to do with it.
How did you nab a millionaire? Because I know a lot of girls would love to.
I shot my shot, actually.
Yeah, go on, say more.
I made. It's kind of embarrassing. Because he was on social media and I saw he lived, like, kind of close to me. And so I made, like, videos saying, like, oh, we should, like, hang out.
When you say you made videos, as in you made videos and sent them to him?
No. Oh, no. No, not like that.
Hey, we should hang out.
No.
Whoa, that is shooting your shot.
I did not. No. Like, public.
Where are these videos? Are they on the internet?
They used to be. I took them down when we broke up. But, like, they were, like, have you never seen those videos of girls, like, shooting their shots at guys?
No.
Like, publicly? I was on TikTok, so I, like, was like, I did. He has, like, this bit that he does, and I did a video saying, you know what, when he's not doing this, like, comedic bit, he's actually kind of fine. Like, I live in Chicago, you live in Chicago, we should, like, hang out.
Okay, and you put that out publicly.
I know.
That was smart. It worked.
If it didn't pan out, I definitely would have taken it down. Yeah. Like, I definitely, and I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I did. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So then, how did he respond to that? Was he like, did he slide into your DM like, hey?
No, he commented on my video, and then we met up, like, the next week or something, and then we, like, started basically dating, like, immediately.
When did you sleep with him?
I met him early December. I slept with him, like, midway through January, maybe. So he was already my boyfriend.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But we also, like, we, like, lived together before we slept. I told you this story.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
tell us again.
Because, like, we were basically... Because I helped him get an Airbnb. Because I was like, why are you spending all this money on these hotels? This is crazy. Like, I can't even imagine... Like, are you nuts?
Yeah.
Hotel... Like, living in one? Oh, no. And I was like, this is Airbnb, sir.
Yeah.
So I was, like, basically staying at the Airbnb for, like, a month.
Yeah.
And I just, like, wouldn't. But people... That's probably not wise. You probably shouldn't spend the night and not sleep with a guy. But I've done that, like, more times than I can count.
I don't think there's... I mean, as you know, you're never obliged to do anything.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, if you know that a guy would want to, I think... I would always... people know me, like... if I'm dating a girl and she's not ready to have sex and stuff, which is completely fine.
Yeah.
I would rather that we didn't sleep in the same bed because out of respect for her, because I want to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I know. It was more just like, because it was like an hour away. I didn't feel like, yeah.
You won't make that choice. You went on Fresh and Fit a couple of times.
Yeah.
They've blown up a lot over the past 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
I would even argue a lot of what you say now kind of aligns with a lot of what they preach.
Mm-hmm.
What was something that you went on the show that you felt that you either learned or you didn't realize, but good or bad, from the show?
Nothing.
No?
I've been reacting to their content for months before that.
Okay.
So I knew what they said.
Yeah.
I mean, I disagreed with them about cheating.
That
was the biggest, because they always, I hate the internet. They'll be like, your dad's a cheater, you just don't know. He's got a side piece. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Because they said rich men cheat all the time, basically, is what they were saying. Like men that have the option to will cheat. And I think there's all men have the desire to cheat. Like, I don't think you can get rid of that in a guy.
Yeah.
But, I think cheating a lot is the situations you put yourself in.
I agree.
Yeah. So, my dad doesn't drink. He doesn't have social media.
Yeah.
Do you think that helps?
Probably,
yeah.
Yeah, probably does, yeah.
And I think, I don't know, people have character and don't put themselves in situations that could end up bad for, the family.
Yes.
And they just think that if every guy has the option, he'll cheat. And I think every guy has the desire to cheat, but just like every woman has the desire to be hypergamous. But if a richer man than my future husband slides in my DMs, am I just gonna leave?
Yeah.
You might have
you might think about it.
Yeah. But yeah.
Who do you think's more loyal, men or women?
I think men. Men.
Why do you think men?
Because women leave more, statistically.
So there's two types of loyalty.
Yeah.
There's being loyal to the person, staying with them, and then being loyal by not cheating.
Oh, I think men sleep with other girls if they can more than women will.
Yeah.
But less men can, so therefore.
I guess statistically, I guess that means men.
Yeah.
Probably are more.
Yeah.
They are more loyal. Wow, I know there's a lot of girls out there who'll be like, nah, the girls are more loyal.
I think people are people. I don't think it's really that different. I think it's people think it's crazy that when more people get the option to do the wrong thing, more people do it.
Yeah. No, it's not always. No, you're right. I think it's it just come down to discipline. And even as like you said, having discipline to not put yourself in that situation. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I've told you, but I've definitely been in a situation where I had a girlfriend. We were on a cruise ship. Imogen, producer behind the camera, he was there. And he'll vouch, there were two Canadian girls that we got on with very well. And I had a girlfriend at the time. And there was an opportunity for it to happen, but I had to remove myself from the party. Especially it was the last night in the hot tub. Because I knew there was a chance something could happen.
Yeah.
Now, in the moment, I'm going to be honest, I would have loved to.
Yeah.
But then I knew that I would regret it afterwards. It wasn't worth it. So, but I'm trying to say that it's not because I couldn't have, it's because I removed myself from the situation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think anyone cheating, I think that's the kind of discipline that we have to have. Mm-hmm. Because people are like, oh, well, I'll just put myself in a situation and just choose not to.
Well, yeah, and it's the same thing with like sleeping around too. If you're drinking, right?
Yeah.
You get what % of one night stands do you think are people that are drunk?
92%.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah. Like it's the same thing with like crimes.
What do you mean?
Most people that commit crimes are on something.
Are they?
Yeah.
I guess that would make sense.
Yeah.
I feel like that percentage would be less than how many people have one night stands that are drunk, because there are people who intentionally commit crimes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Without actually, to be fair, they probably
people,
took a line anyway. Took a line or smoked anything.
Yeah.
What is the mission of your YouTube channel, if you could say it in one phrase?
I would say the mission of my YouTube channel is to advocate for men.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say?
And to react to rap music. I'm pretty funny, so.
Oh yeah, whitest girl on earth reacts. She's pretty white. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
What would you say to people who say men don't need to be advocated for because they've always had the advantage historically?
More men commit suicide. Like, how are you going to say they're at an advantage when more men are taking themselves out of life?
I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate. I don't necessarily disagree, but just because more men do.
Who's to say historically men were at an advantage? We got to chill at the house with the kids. Like, we didn't have to go to war.
True.
We didn't have to. Like, people act like men and women were at odds, and women were just so oppressed and hated their lives. Like, they didn't.
Very true. Very true. I think it's more. Men have had better opportunities in the world. They've had more freedom to explore areas that they want to than women have historically. Mm-hmm. Because if a woman wanted to be prime minister or president or do things back in the day, she may have lived a very cushy life, mm-hmm. but she didn't have the freedom to explore avenues that men have traditionally always had. Mm-hmm. So there is an element of men have historically had more freedom, mm-hmm. I guess. Mm-hmm. So what would you say to those people who say that, you're saying your channel's for advocating for men? Is it men in all areas, or is it men mainly in dating?
No, I think in all areas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had a brother like try to commit suicide, so I think it's like actually no, I think men have it harder than people give them credit for. I
think men do have it. We suffer most of the hardships.
Yeah.
Like, more men are on the street, more men commit suicide, more men die in the workplace. Mm-hmm.
And like, as a woman, you have that. Like, you always have the option. If I wanted to, I could just marry a 50-year-old and chill.
Very true.
Some men, based on your stories, you may have that option too.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, not me.
But that's not the norm.
It's not the norm.
And you kind of had to like build yourself up to get to that point.
Yeah, it's very true. It is interesting how if you do kind of get to a certain place, then certain doors start to open with certain people. I had one last thing I want to ask you. If a woman wants a husband and children and she wants that family life, what do you believe is the sacrifice she has to make for that? Or does she even need to make a sacrifice for that?
I mean, certain guys, you don't gotta do shit. I'd say eating more.
Dead.
Like, yeah, I would love. No, seriously though, like a guy of substance, like staying in shape is definitely a sacrifice you have to make. But that benefits you too. You're gonna be happier if you're in shape.
Very true.
But,
very true.
I'd say like being 250, 300 off the table, cooked.
I mean, there's some guys that like that, but I think that is an exception. I think if they would choose that over someone who takes care of themselves. When, it's just your opinion, when do you think a woman should start to think about, if she wants that, because we know women have a biological clock, it's a reality of life. Yeah. When do you think a woman should start to prioritize finding a husband or finding a partner?
Oh my God, I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day. Yeah. Because I was like, I'm kind of in that. Like.
How old are you? If you don't mind?
I'm 25.
You're 25. You're pretty young.
Yeah, ish. I don't know, before 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot start around 30. Like, it's getting later and later, I think.
Well, the average age of first marriage in the UK, do you know what that is?
Did you tell me? Did you say it was the 29?
So in the US, the average age of first marriage is 28 for women. I think 29 for men.
Okay.
And I think it's getting later. And in the UK, it's 31.
It's 31 for women.
Yeah.
Wow, that's definitely. I mean, 30 years ago, it's like 21, 22.
Yeah.
Maybe even.
Birth control changed society.
It changed
forever. There's no going back.
It changed the game.
Yeah.
It changed the game. Last question, I promise. If you were the president, what is the first law you would pass?
Oh my God. The first law I would pass, actually, is trans people cannot compete against women. That is the first thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I would have no opportunity. Like, you know how little opportunity there is in women's sports? I'm probably in the top, like, 1% of 1% in terms of, like, how far I've made it in my volleyball career.
Yeah.
I still can't make shit. And now I have to compete with people that used to be guys. You're taking the small pie there already is. Now they get a slice.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Because I'm in the top for females. I'm in the top, like, 1% of height. I'm still short, which is crazy. I'm 6 foot. I'm short for my position.
Yeah.
And guys, I'd be in the top 15% of height. Like, I would have no opportunity.
Yeah.
Just like what 6 foot guy is gonna make it as a center in the NBA? None.
So then, what would you say to those people who would argue that, well, if trans people can't compete in the gender in which they identify with, and they're not right to compete in the biological sex that they are, where are they meant to compete?
What? Stay with the guys.
Stay with the guys?
The guys will take you.
Even if they identify as a woman?
Yeah! You don't see, like the vice versa, like people rushing into men's sports, asking, please, can I compete?
It's probably because
they can't. Stay there.
Yeah, it's a good point. That's a hard one. I don't know what the answer is to that one. I don't know what the answer is to that one.
The answer,
I definitely understand, because there is a biology. Like, if you've got a transgender woman who lived as a man for 30 years, so they've gone through puberty and everything, and then they transition and compete, they are going to have a biological advantage. That is more. That's going to be more the case than not. But then it's hard, because at what point do they get to, does that mean they don't get to compete? I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, they don't. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, at least for you, not in women's sports.
Not in women's. You can make your own league where anyone can compete, but
I understand that.
Like, I think I should have the option to say, no, I don't want to do kickboxing against someone who used to be a dude.
What if he was like, you're 6 foot, right?
Yeah.
What if this transgender woman was 5'6"?
Can you undo your bone density? Muscle mass? Like,
I don't know.
No.
You probably have more muscle mass than that person would. If you're 6 foot. You probably would.
Not upper body, no. I skinny ass guys can out bench me. And I can bench, I forgot what the most I ever did. I think I did a plate. But, like, that's nothing for a guy.
Yeah. I hear that.
It's like lightweight,
Well, Pearl's running for presidency, so if you want to get...
I might one day. You never know.
You never know.
Never.
Well, if you do, I'm going to get all the exclusives. Thanks. Where can we find you?
Oh, just Pearly Things on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and I have Twitter now, and I'm Pearly Things, but with a Z at the end.
Oh, okay. I think that hip hop had a bit of influence on you.
Yeah, you could say I'm pretty trendy now. Yeah.
Well, you live around the corner, so I'm sure we'll see you again at some point, get you on. But thank you for coming onto my channel. And guys, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.
Pow.